So hello guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to create a simple interaction system. We will implement blueprint interface, outline effects, a UI for our interaction indicator, and a master blueprint for our items. And also in this video I will create 3 items: apple, banana, and grape, and we will also display it in player screen. All assets are provided in the link descriptions. You can download it, and also you can download the full project file in the link description. So yeah, let's get started. We will create a new project of type third-person template over here. Make a blueprint. I'll name the project to be YouTube_interaction system. Create. If you hear my voice a little bit weird, that's because I'm a bit sick today, so that might be expected. Here I will provide you guys 3 assets over here: apple, banana, and grape. So now we can import all of these assets into our game, but before that let's create a new folder in our game. So here on the content browser over here you can create a new folder. I'll name this 3D assets. Double click on it. Now we can import it. Just drag and drop, import all. Now you'll see 3 new static mesh and 3 new material, but I will delete the material. Just hold Ctrl on the keyboard and just click these 3. Click delete, force delete. Now right click, create a new material. I'll name this m_master color. Double click on it. Here on the base color you can hold down 3 on the keyboard and press. And now for this one you can convert to parameter. I'll name this color. Plug this into the base color. Yeah, I think I will leave everything for now. Go back, right click, create a new material instance, mi_apple, the other one for mi_banana, and the last one for mi_grape. The first one will be apple. I will set the color to be like a little bit red or red to orange over here, just like that. For the banana, set the color to be like yellow. Last one, grape, I'll set the color to be purple, probably like this. Should be okay. Go back and open this static mesh. I'll set this to grape material, and the banana, I'll set this to banana, and the apple, just drag and drop this into the slot material over here, just like that. Now you're good to go. This should represent our items on the game. That's enough. So let's create input for our interaction. You can go into the third-person folder here and go into the input action. You can copy ia_jump, ia_interact, just like that. Just leave it there. Go into this input mapping context over here, imc_default. Double click. Expand these mappings, create a new action mapping of type ia_interact. Expand this. On the node here, you can choose whatever you want. I'll just click on this icon over here and I'll press E on the keyboard, just like that. Now you can go into third person blueprint, create a new folder. I'll name this interface. Double click on it, right click, blueprint interface. I'll name this bi_interaction. Double click on it, I'll create a new function. I'll name this OnHovered. This will have 2 new inputs. Create a new input arguments. I'll name this isHovered of type boolean, and the other one will be your player reference. This will be type bp_third-person character. Okay, and create another function. I'll name this onInteracted. It will have 1 input of type bp_third-person character. I'll name this player reference. Compile. We can close everything out. Save. Go into our third-person character. Okay, now here in the event graph, you can right click, event interacted, ia_interact. Now you'll see this on trigger event that you can expand this node over here. Okay, before that I will create a new trace channel. You can go into the edit here, project settings, all settings. I'll type in trace channel, create a new trace channel. I'll name this interaction. This will be ignored on the default response. Okay, accept. And we can go back into the third person character here. On the triggered execution pin over here, you can drag off and I'll type LineTrace by channel. For the trace channel, this will be interaction. And on the start and end here, it's gonna be pretty easy. You can drag your follow camera, get rolled location, drag this into the start. From this get rolled location, you can plus add a vector. This will be plugged into the end over there. And for this one, it will be follow camera, get forward vector. Here you can multiply. For this one, you can right click and convert it to float, and you can drag off from here and promote it to variable. I'll name this interaction distance. This will go into this plus over here. Now you're good to go. You can compile. I'll set the interaction distance to, let's say, 500. Now on the return value over here, you can hold on B and click. It will create a branch, plug there. And on the condition, you can drag to this return value. On the out hit, you can drag off, scroll down, break hit result. On the true over here, you can create another branch, hold on B again, plug this into the true branch over there. On the hit actor here, you can type in does implement interface. On the interface class will be your bi underscore interaction. Plug this return value into the condition branch over there. On true, you can drag off hit actor again, and you can type on interacted message. You have to choose the message one, okay? On the player reference here, it will be yourself. So that's pretty much it for our interaction. You can group this pressing C to comment. I'll name this interaction input. Okay, just like that. Now good to go. Let's create a hovered event. So let's create a new function. I'll name this hovered actor check. For this one, let's copy the same thing on the interaction. Just like that. Copy that. Paste it into the function. But you have to change something here. You can delete the uninteracted part, replace it with OnHovered. This will be true. Player reference will be ourselves again. And now we have to create a variable for reference to our hovered actor. On hit actor over here, you can promote this to variable, not the local variable, but the variable right here. I'll name this hovered actor. Just like that, pretty easy. Okay, and now you can hold Control on the keyboard, drag off into this branch over here. Right click, convert to validated get. Plug this one into the is not valid variable over here. And now for is valid here, you can create another branch, holding B. And on this pin, you can check for if it's not equal to this hit actor over here. If it's not equal, we will call OnHovered a message on this hover actor, but this time it will be false. Player reference will be ourselves again. After this, we have to unvalidate the hover actor variable, holding Alt, just like that. And after this, on the execution pin over here, we can plug this into the hover actor like that. Okay, the next one will be here in the branch, on the false branch here. You can drag off again hover actor, right click, convert to validated get, plug it into the false. On true here, I'll set on hover and I'll set this to false. Player reference will be ourselves, and we'll hold Alt, set this to null, just like that. This will set the on hover to false when the player is not hovering with uninteractable objects. Compile, go back into our event graph. On the event begin play over here, you can set timer by function name. On our hover actor check function over here, you can F2, copy and paste into the function name slot over there. And the time, let's set it to 0.1, and it is looping. So now we can work on our items, but before that, I will create a new player HUD to display the items count over there. You can go back into the third person blueprint, create a new folder. I'll name this UI. Double click on it, right click, create a user interface. is a widget. I'll name this WBP underscore player HUD. Drag off canvas panel and I will create a new vertical box. Resize it. On the anchors here, hold Ctrl on the keyboard, click on this left bottom corner over here. Set the alignment to be 0 and 1. Inside the vertical box, I'll create a new horizontal box wrapped with, say, a size box. So it will right click on the horizontal box here, wrap with size box. So it will create a size box on top of the horizontal box. Set the height override to be, let's say, 100. Okay, that's too much. 75. Inside this horizontal box, I'll create an image and a text. Okay, so I forgot to give you an icon. So I'll create the icon first and I will come back here. So here I have added 3 new assets. This will be the icon of each items. You can just drag in here. You're gonna have 3 new assets over there. I'm sorry, I forgot to add that before. Okay, now we can go back into the player HUD. Over here, on the brush here, set the image to be icon underscore apple. We can expand this image size, set the X and Y value to be 75 by 75. And here for the text block, I'll check the is variable. I'll name this txt for text underscore apple 0. Make this centered on the vertical, and I'll set the padding of the left to be 15. Increase the text size to be 35. Copy the size box and paste it on the vertical box. Set this to banana. I'll name the text to be txt underscore banana. And another one for the grape. Icon underscore grape. Set the text to be txt underscore grape. Okay, the last one that we have to create inside this player HUD is to create an interaction indicator. So when the player hover with an item, it will show up like press E to interact on the screen. So here you can type in size box, drag it into the canvas panel, set size to content to true. I'll set the width and height override to be 250 by, let's say, 60. I'll set it to be centered on the screen. So you're gonna go to the anchor here, hold Ctrl on the keyboard and click on this middle center screen over here. Set the alignment to be 0.5 and the Y value to be minus 2.5 would be great. Yep, that's it. Drag and drop overlay image as a background. Make it full screen on the fill horizontally and fill vertically. Set the brush tint to be black. Set the opacity to be 0.5. Plug in text, make it center. So horizontal element will be center, vertical element will be center, and the justification will be center. Set the text to be, let's say, like be incorrect. Just like that. On the size box over here, make this is variable. I'll name this SB underscore interact indicator. Set this to collapsed for now. Now we can go into our event graph. I'll create a new function, toggle interaction indicator. I will create a new input of type boolean. This will be named is visible. And now drag off your size block, set the visibility. On the invisibility here, select block that is visible into the index over here. It will be converted into boolean. On the true over here, set this to not hit passable, and the false will be on collapsed. Compile, create a new function again. I'll name this update items count. And here you're gonna create a new input of type BP underscore third person character. This will be your player reference. And let's go back into our character first. Okay, in this character, let's create 3 new variables. Name this apple. This will be type integer. And then grape. and banana. Okay, compile, go back into your player HUD. On the update items count here, you can drag off player reference and type get apple, get banana, and get grape. Here you can set each text to be the value of variable inside the player reference. So here you can drag off text apple here, set text, drag off into the apple variable like that. Just copy and paste it 2 times and plug this into the banana and create. Compile. Then we can go back into third person character. Even begin play over here, we can create a new widget of type wbp underscore player HUD. Of the return value here, we can promote this to variable. I will name this player HUD reference. Don't forget to add to viewport. Just like that. Compile. Play. Now you'll see 3 new icons appeared in the bottom left of the screen. Okay, now let's create a master blueprint for our items. We can create a new folder. I'll name this blueprint. Create another folder inside it. I'll name this actors. And here you can create a new blueprint class of type actor. I'll name this bp underscore master items. Double click on it. Create a new static mesh. Just leave it there. Okay, now let's create a new function. I'll name this toggle outline. This will have an input of type boolean. I'll name this is as visible, and I will leave this for now, and we'll come back to this later. We can go into the event graph. You can go into the class settings over here. Now here you can add a new interface, pi underscore interaction, compile. Now you can event on hovered and event on interacted. And on the hovered here, you can drag off the reference, check for is valid. And now you can toggle outline. Is visible goes to the is hovered here. And now on the interacted here, you can also check for is valid. And here we can get player HUD reference on the player reference here. And I'll call the function update items count. Player reference will be our player reference over here. And we can destroy the actor like that. Group it. I'll comment it. Interface event implementation. Now we can create our items. Go back into the content browser, right click on this one, create child blueprint class. I'll name this bp underscore apple. Another one, bp underscore banana. Oops, sorry, banana. Another one, bp underscore grape. Open this tree. Grape, banana, apple. Okay, on the static mesh here, you can set this to be sm underscore apple. Compile. And the grape here, sm underscore grape, like that. Compile. Last one, banana, sm underscore banana. Now let's create our outline system. This will be kind of complicated, but you can follow along with the video, or you can just download the full project and you can copy paste the outline material into your project. Okay, let's do it. Go back into your content browser here, create a new folder. I'll name this material. Double click on it, create a new material, m underscore outline. Double click on it. On this return node over here, we can change it to be post-processed, and you're gonna have this emissive color pin that is highlighted, and all of the rest are disabled, so you cannot plug it into other pin except for the emissive color. And here I'll type syntax cell size. I'll multiply it. This will be your width. I can hold S and click. This will be your outline width over here. I'll set this to be, let's say, 1. Plug this into the B. I'll add from screen position. Viewport UV will go into the B here. Scene texture. Set this into custom stencil. I'll mask it. From the mask here, I will distance. here. Distance. Copy and paste all of this. Delete this two nodes, and from this one, I will multiply it by -1. Plug this into the A, and the B goes into the viewport UV. And the mask here gonna go into the B. And this one, let's create an if check. I will hold down S and click. This will be a stencil value. Let's make it to be 1. Plug this into the A is equal to B, and this one gonna be into the B over here. Okay, now for this to pin over here, we can make this as 0, so we can hold 1 and click. It will create this parameter value. Just leave it as 0, plug this into the both of the nodes here. Create another if. The B1 should be on 0, yeah. And this one, let's create scene texture. This will be type post process input 0. Color goes into the A is equal to B and A is less than B. Okay, now for the A is greater than B, we can drag off there, add. This will be your color of the outline. Okay, so let's create a new vector parameter. You can hold down 3. Oh, sorry, you can hold down 4. This will be white with the alpha to be 0. So it will be 1, 1, 1, 0. And here you can hold down S. I'll name this outline opacity. Multiply it. I'll set this to be 1. Plug this into the A. And the B goes into the color of the post-process input scene texture over there. Plug it there and plug this into the emissive color. That's it. Save. Minimize. Create a new material instance. I'll name this mi_outline. And here you can control the opacity and the width of the outline effects. And I'll leave this as it is. Go back into our level on our post-process volume over here. Scroll down until you found post-process material. Create a new element into the array. Set this to asset reference. And I will drag and drop mi_outline into the source material over here. To test this out, you can choose any object you want in the level. Let's say this one. On the search bar over here, you can type in custom depth pass. Okay, and now you'll see this like jittery glitter effects on the screen. It means that you haven't enabled the stencil on the project settings. So you're gonna go to edit project settings. On all settings here, you can search for render custom depth. You can search for custom depth and custom depth stencil pass. You should change this to enabled with stencil. You can go back to the object here, type in stencil, set this to 1. Now as you can see, the outline is visible on the object. We're good to go. We can go back into our BP_ master items. Now you can implement this toggle outline function over here. On the static mesh here, you can drag off by holding Control. Set render custom depth to be same as is visible. And here, set stencil. Set custom depth stencil value. Select integer. Plug this into the is visible. On the A here, set this to 1. And for B, set this to 0. Yep, just like that, guys. And now, on event OnHovered here, you can drag off here and get player HUD reference. Toggle interaction indicator is visible would be your is hovered like this. And now we are good to go. You can test the game out. I'll create like a table here just to demonstrate it. And here I can drag apple, banana, and grape. I think this one is too small. I'll increase the size, scale to be, let's say, 1.5. Okay, we'll modify the position a little bit. Play, test the game out. Okay. Oh, I forgot to set the collision presets to be intractable. So you can go back into the master items over here, static mesh. Collision presets custom. Set this to custom. And you can block this interaction trace response over here. Just check this into the block here. Just like that. Compile, play. Okay, so it is happening, but it's a little bit off. Yeah, so let's modify it a little bit. On the master items over here, we can create a new cube. This is to be like our hitbox collision of our interaction. I will resize it a little bit, just like that. I'll set this to custom of the collision presets. Make all ignore except for the interaction to be blocked. Compile. And don't forget to set this cube to be hidden in game to be true. Don't forget to set this to be hidden. So you're gonna uncheck the visible there. Compile. Now we can test the game out. So now when you hover into this apple over here, you can see the outline. Yeah, it's not very obvious. Let's change the color of the outline. Here I can change the color to be like, let's say blue. Okay, save. Play. Yep, this is much better. So you can see that it's working now. The interaction is working, the hovering is working. Now let's try to interact. Press E. Okay, I forgot to update it. Now on the master items over here, I will create a new event, add custom event on interacted. Oops, on actor interacted. And here on the event on interacted, I can just call the on actor interacted over there. On actor interacted. This will have an input of type BP underscore third person character. I'll name this player reference, and this goes into the player reference there. Compile, and don't forget to change the on actor interacted before the update items counts, otherwise it will not work. Okay, now we can compile. Now you can go into each of the items here, and you can type event on actor interacted. The reference. Now we can set apple and get apple plus one. Yep, just like that. Copy and paste it. Compile. Go to the grape here. Event graph. Paste it. Event on actor interacted. Get grape. And set grape. Last one for banana. Get banana. Set banana. Compile and save. Okay, and don't forget to set the and don't forget to change the on actor interacted before the update items counts, otherwise it will not work. Okay, now we can compile. So let's test the game out. This will be perfectly working now. You can hover between items. And now when you press E, you will see the banana counts is increasing in the bottom left corner there. And let's interact with other object as well, grape and apple. Yeah, so it's working perfectly fine now. We have some problem here in the interaction prompt that is not disappearing. So it will be a very easy fix. You can go back into our master items here on the on interacted there. You can drag off the player reference here. get Player HUD. Toggle interaction indicator to be false. Just like that. We can test the game out once again. Now when you interacted, the interaction prompt disappeared. And now it's completed. I think that's it for this video. It's pretty easy, right? If you have any questions, do let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. Yeah, I think that's it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.